Hi, I'm Scott Fresener with U.S. Screen Print and Inkjet Technology. We're webcasting live. Gonna change my pace a little bit. From SGIA 08. Where are we at? What city we're at? In
Atlanta.
Beautiful Atlanta. Is it still raining outside?
We're still in Atlanta. It's still raining.
Is it really?
Yep.
I came
Rained
over
all
this
the way over
morning and
here.
I didn't even bring an umbrella.
I did.
Huh?
I brought an umbrella.
Well, you checked the weather forecast.
I absolutely did. Yeah.
Usually I do. I
You know
look at
what?
the first
When
day.
I get wet, I look a lot worse than you do.
No,
Believe
no, I
me.
was kind of.
I can't get wet. This hair would be really scary.
And when Jeff gets wet, you know,
Yeah.
we're in trouble.
He's fine.
We're in trouble.
Oh,
This
get
is
a
our-
front seat row.
This is our audience here. Billy, pan around and get this guy real quick. Can you do that? This
Get
is our
Jeff.
audience of one.
Because he
Audience-
invented
See, all the rest of the audience is moving on right
direct-to-screen.
now. You know.
Oh, you invented screen printing. I don't know. Charlie invented that. You invented direct-to-screen.
Yeah. No, he's older than that, I think. So. I'm with my good friend, known Deborah for a long time, Deborah Sexton from, what's your company's name?
Saracen Communications.
What's it called?
Saracen Communications.
Now tell me what that means. That's why I never remember it.
I love the word Saracen.
S-E.
S-A-R-C-E-N. S-A-R-A-C-E-N.
I thought maybe it was something I didn't know.
No, I just made it up because who cares?
But I never remember it.
I don't use it.
When I want to look up your number, you know, it's not there.
You just look up by my last name.
All right. Deborah is the, former editor.
Former editor.
Were you editor-in-chief?
Yeah, I didn't ever get the in-chief title. I was always editor. When Marcia took over, she got editor-in-chief.
Because she told me she was editor-in-chief.
Yeah, well, I was in function, but not in title, because they didn't want to give me that title for some reason.
Who was above you then?
Well, there's no one above me, but they just didn't want to have an editor-in-chief. The highest position was editor. I don't know why. You know what? It's corporate BS.
But now, who hired you? Back in
Carl, who hired me? Bill Windsor hired me.
You know, I had forgotten that you were original with Bill Windsor.
1981.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the magazine was like 2 or 3 years old.
For those of you that are new to this business, Bill Windsor, oh, man.
Founded Impressions Magazine.
Billy, pan around real quick. John Emile, say hi to the camera. Straight from Norway. You bought Budweiser from Norway?
Get your priorities straight.
I'm sorry. For those of you that have been not around very long, Bill Windsor, well, I think Bill founded the ISS shows, the impression shows.
He coined the word imprinted sportswear, actually.
He did, really?
He did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And I actually, for some reason, I had forgotten that you were one of the original Bill Windsor.
Was.
One of the original Bill Windsor girls.
I was a Bill Windsor girl.
Because, you know, there was always a kind of a joke that Windsor always had good-looking women on his staff.
Did.
And Bill told me one day, well, you can hire the good-looking ones for the same you would pay for the not very good-looking ones.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
Anyway, who's left from those days? I mean, the Windsor days.
Lori Gons.
Okay.
And Diane Hall just retired this year.
Okay.
So
I don't think I knew her then at all. You know, what did Diane do?
Diane was ad sales.
Okay.
She wasn't obviously your ad sales rep. But
no, and so I didn't know her.
Yeah.
But so you started with Impressions as you were an assistant
editor right out of J School. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. My first job and the only job I ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
This is it.
This is it, and then I went freelance. So I've only done one job interview my entire career.
Now, did you have to be a journalist major or have a degree for like a Bill Windsor to hire you?
I don't think so, because the current editor, I think she had an English degree. Christine Caperton.
You know, you're right. I remember that name, actually.
Christine Caperton. I had a master's, or I had a bachelor's in journalism, specifically magazine, but no, that was not a requirement.
Right,
no.
Okay, all right. So you got your job, you worked there for a while as the assistant editor, and then
moved
who was the editor over you? Carl Bernstein? Not Bernstein, but...
Well, Christine, you know, when Miller Freeman, or I forget who bought us first, because we got bought so many, but we were bought, and they did not like Christine's qualifications. They kind of warned her that she probably wouldn't cut the mustard, so she quit.
Okay.
And that's when they imported Carl Piazza from New York.
Right, okay.
And he took over as editor.
And then you were under Carl.
I was under Carl until he died.
Right, as an assistant.
Yeah, I moved up the ladder. Assistant, associate. I was managing editor for several years. Right. And then when he passed away, I finally took over in 1994.
Right, and at that time, did Miller, Bill sold to Gralla.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Miller Freeman.
Yeah, and then Nielsen.
BNU.
And then Nielsen.
And then Nielsen.
Yeah.
Okay. So you worked away up the line, and then BNU bought it, Impressions, and said, we're moving it to Atlanta.
And
you
in
said,
2001.
I'm a Texas girl, and I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm like, I just bought a brand new house.
Right.
My husband just got a new job, and I just thought 20 years is long enough.
And you're a soccer mom, so you...
Yeah,
you know.
I have 3 boys, so
Right.
it was time to go freelance.
Was that a big decision to not move, though?
They really weren't making it worth my while to move, so no.
Really?
No. I mean, I was curious if I could make it as a freelancer.
Right.
Because I didn't want to. I really wanted to work at home, and of
Right.
course that worked out wonderfully. So
Now, was I your first client as a freelancer?
one of them, yeah,
Okay.
you absolutely were one of my first.
And I actually
clients.
was wondering, too, because you approached me, and I think we talked about maybe you
Yeah.
write some articles.
Right.
And we know nobody makes any money writing. I
No.
mean,
Not
single
as much.
stuff. And then you were going to do news releases, and
Yeah.
I was very worried. But now you must have hundreds of clients.
I do. I actually make way more money than I did as editor of
I'm so
Impressions. Yeah.
pleased,
And I work
because-
at home.
Because
I love it.
I figured you must have made good money before, but I thought, gosh, how can somebody in this business make money just
You don't
writing?
make money writing. You
No.
do that for exposure.
Yeah.
But that is
but your
what
money
I
is
do.
from what, then?
Well, from my clients doing their press releases and their from corporate communications side of
Yeah.
it, the publicity and the ghostwriting and the newsletters and the websites.
I mean, I know because I've known you for a long time that a lot of stuff you read in the trades, you have written.
Yeah, exactly.
But it may have somebody else's byline
right.
on
Yeah,
it.
I do a lot of ghostwriting.
Yeah, it's so funny to think that
yeah.
here's somebody that is an expert, and is an expert.
Yeah, they're an
but-
expert.
But
They
they
have
haven't
the
got the time to
content.
put it down,
Right.
and so you call them up and you do
Yeah,
it to me
I
some
just
an
interview 'em.
interview, and
And-
they're the glowing words are.
Yeah,
right?
it's great.
It's amazing.
It works out. It's a win-win. Totally win-win.
Yeah. Now you do a lot of news releases.
I do a lot of press releases every
Right,
month to all
right.
the magazines.
So how can
Sporting
you?
goods, decorated apparel, promotional
You
products.
must have a heck of a list,
I have several lists for every industry.
Right.
So, yeah.
and you know all the deadlines. You know the editors.
I know all the deadlines. I know what every magazine's running every month, content-wise. So
Yeah.
if a client has something, their product.
You looking for more clients?
No. really not.
Really? It ain't
Not
gonna-
looking for any more.
Ain't gonna happen, huh?
I have more than I can deal with now. But yeah,
So-
I've been very blessed.
You have been. I mean,
Yes.
I think. Well, how long has it been since you've been?
It's been 6 years. It'll be
okay.
7 years in February.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since I've technically left Impressions.
Now, could you print a shirt?
I can't print it.
Ask
Well,
Marsha that. You know.
I've never done it, but of course I've heard how it's done a lot. I could probably stumble my way through it. Yeah.
Could you make a screen?
I know how to in words. Yeah, I know it takes emulsion and mesh. You got to stretch the mesh
Yeah.
and coat it with emulsion and don't get any dirt in it when it dries and
Right. Very
you let
good.
it dry and then you put it in
Very
the
good.
exposure unit and you better have that set correctly or it won't expose properly and stick it on the
You could do
screen
it.
and register
You
it.
could do it.
But I've never formally done
Right,
it.
right.
Yeah, I really am.
I think
don't
people
want
think
to.
writers know how to do this stuff. Even with my book, people would ask me questions. I go, well, I had to do research for that, and that was 10
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
You know, you forget all about it.
And I've been in a lot of shops and
Right.
seen it done,
Yeah.
but I've never actually done it myself.
So how can a garment decorator, I always want to call it screener, but you know,
Yeah.
it really is now a garment
It's more
decorator.
universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can they get more publicity?
Well, your local shop actually has a lot of opportunities to promote themselves within their community, and they should know their media outlets like newspapers, radio, and TV. And they should, and savvy printers like Greg Kitson actually have a regular schedule where they send out a press release like every week, not every week, but like once a month.
Locally.
Yeah,
Not-
locally.
not in the
They
trade, but-
put together a list of their local media,
Right.
their magazines, their trade journals, like the Chamber of Commerce magazine or the Business Journal. I mean, most cities of any size will have that.
Right.
And they send out press releases, when they've hired someone or they expand their facility or they add new equipment that they now have more capabilities to do new things.
Find a spin.
Yeah,
you know.
that's all news. And
Right.
that the newspapers will publish all of that.
Yeah.
So, a lot of printers, I think most decorators really don't have a clue that they could have a much higher presence in their
Yeah.
local media by simply sending out those press releases and, call up the editor of your local newspaper and invite him to come see your shop.
It's so simple.
It's actually very simple.
it is.
And I'm not saying that you call them up and they're like, oh, I'll be down tomorrow. But, maybe you send them a shirt,
Right.
or you send all the media a shirt. That's a